Hi. So we have with us Munnmunn Marwah, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Think Strawberries, a firm, and it's her specialty to destination marketing and branding. She's been doing it for a long time, very senior in her profession, very recognized. So it's a pleasure to have you on the show, Munnmunn. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Priya, for the introduction, and thank you for having me on board. Lovely to meet you as well.
Likewise. So let's just dive in. Tell me something, about your career, in the sense, have you ever faced any sort of gender discrimination? Have you faced any, special privileges as a woman, or anything which took away from what you were doing?
Gender discrimination, if you want to talk about it, yes, I've also faced, and generally, sometimes it is up to you, if you really want to notice it and you want that to impact yourself or, your growth prospects. But in my case, I just kind of ignored it and kept on moving on with my regular work. I focused more on my work than rather thinking about, why there is, because I know that there's no way I can fight this. Women across the world are struggling with this. So whether we are talking about, even if you are so capable and you have all the experience required, which is in par with your own colleagues, sometimes you'll realize that, your salaries or your perks don't match because, they feel that, okay, men need to be paid more for whatever reason, and women can, manage because maybe they have their husbands or they have some kind of support system. So, you can compromise them or, force them to adjust. Yes, those are some of the things that, we all, I think, at some point in our career, we do face. I've also been through that, but as I said, I just focused on just doing what I need to do, my work, because I was so passionate about it, and I did not let any of these things, bother me. It does impact you for like 30 seconds to maybe like 2 hours, but after that, that there is not much you can do here. So fortunately, because I was so focused on my work, it helped me to get to a level where, my salaries or my perks were in par with my other colleagues as well.
That's wise. So what about, a lot of laws have now come into place, and companies themselves are being more watchful about any kind of discrimination. But has there been an actual change on ground? Have you seen, or that you would like to see coming up?
Well, I do see a change, and I do see, the outlook of people changing toward women colleagues. One of the reasons that I have been able to sit at this position is because I have been, the way my boss looks at it. He feels that, yes, as a woman, I'm able to drive more value, to the entire team. And even when we are hiring people, whether irrespective of their women or their men, we just look at the fact of what is that they're going to bring on the table, what is the value will drive up them. And honestly, so many people, you hire or meet, or we, as a company, we ensure that there is no discrimination for the fact that, from the women angle, not at all. Indeed, my team has got more women than their men.
Great. And coming to, things like Me Too, which have kind of created ripples all over the world. So even in any way, have you faced, say, a sexist comment, or seen this happening with a colleague or a senior, not misbehaving, but even like in terms of attitudes or gender stereotyping women? Any examples that you can share with us if you faced that or a colleague has?
I faced that way back in the beginning of my career. But honestly, one of the reasons I continue to work in this company for almost like 15 years is because we never had this problem here. You felt more protected and safe being part of Think Strawberries setup, because, the owners have been like that. So fortunately, when I joined the company, from there on, my journey has never been to face any of these comments. Nobody encourages it. We never hear even within our colleagues any comment which is passed on women's appearance, the way they look, because you know how it is. We can come thin and we can go fat. We can just have one day we have a nice skin and the next day we just have acne. So nobody passes the comments on their appearances or anything like that.
What about stereotyping?
So fortunate.
Yeah. What about stereotypes? Stereotypes. Are there any comments passed on? Okay, because you're a woman, you can't do this properly. Or, are you sure you'll be able to handle it? Things like that.
Well, not really directly as such, but yes, I have seen an area where you say, okay, irrespective you are a woman, you still got to learn to do the budgets, you got to do the planning, you got to do your numbers, you need to know what's happening. So, to be honest, it goes back to the fact that I was fortunate enough to get a leader, who was able to push me and did not think that, being a woman was a boundary. He did not think it as some kind of a hindrance, and he made me do it. Of course I know the numbers, sometimes that you feel that okay, you may just have a bit of a hesitation, but he told me very clearly, no, you've got to know your numbers, you've got to do the budgets. So I did not go through that kind of experience. Fortunately I did not. But yes, in the other way we look at it, as women we do have some limitation at times. So when you are talking about building relationship and it has to go into maybe entertaining your client, that's a time when you feel okay, yes, one of your male colleagues needs to step in and take care of it from there on. That's the only time you feel yes, But to be honest, Priya, I've been very fortunate to work with amazing set of people on this side of the table and from the client side as well. And I work with some of them who are, heading the tourism boards and attractions as women. And it just makes it so comfortable to work with them. You're able to relate to them. They understand you way better. My bonding with them have been fantastic, to be honest.
Wonderful. So does it help then in a way to have a woman on the other side as a client? On the plus side of celebrating women?
Yes, I think yes it does. Yes it does. I've had the luck to work with some of the amazing ones from Elaine in Orlando or Bridgerton, Disney, or for that matter, Karen in Dubai, just naming some of them here, it has been an amazing experience to work with all of them.
Asina, since you've achieved so much in your career, is there any advice you'd like to give, new entrants to the profession, women, on how they should carry themselves or what they should do?
I think the first and the foremost important thing is that you should be confident in what you are. And you should never let anybody impact you with their comments, which is very, very important. And now that people are so aware of all this, so they are prepared, irrespective of how you look, what you do, what your intelligence is, you should know what you are more better. So nobody can just walk into you and say, okay, you know what, you're so dumb. No, you're not, because you know what you are. So confidence in yourself is the utmost thing for any women to sail, through any problems that they can have in their offices, in their professional careers. That's what I think is very important.
That is key. Thank you so much for sharing this insight with us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here. Lovely chatting with you. Thank you once again.